today's video is going to be a little Q&A video, Valentine's Day edition. I believe this will be going up on Valentine's Day, so all of my love from me to you. I asked you guys over on my Instagram. If you don't follow me, you should. It's just soft ASMR, very easy to find. But I posted a little questionnaire saying, let's do a Valentine's Day Q&A. You can ask really anything. We can talk about advice. We can talk about stories, like my first, like whatever you want. Just anything like love related. Let's talk about it. So it's still up as we speak, but I have all of my responses, or questions I should say, and we're just gonna go through and talk about it. I did like skim through, and there are a few in here that are just like regular Q&A questions, not like love or Valentine's Day related, so I'm going to skip those for now. But the ones I saw anyway are questions that I have been asked a few times. So if you go to like any of my previous Q&As, odds are your answer will be there. Okay, so I'm not like skipping you to be mean, just trying to keep the theme going. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I scrolled all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so let's see a few of these are already not Valentine's Day related. This one says, get flowers sent to work or surprise dinner. So I guess like which would I rather? I personally would choose a surprise dinner. I don't know, getting flowers sent to work for me would just be like a lot of attention on me, and that doesn't really happen at my job. And knowing my coworkers, they'd like bust my chops for it. I don't know, it's a little too much out in the open in public for my taste. I know people that would probably love that. I would more be inclined to just doing like a private, like more intimate surprise dinner. That's just me. There are a lot of questions that I saw in here, like, are you and your boyfriend moving in together? Is he moving into your apartment with you? No, it's just gonna be me, myself, and I. So that answers that question, because there are a lot of those in here. What does your perfect Valentine's Day include, or what would it include, and why? My perfect Valentine's Day, perfect is a strong word, because there are a bunch of things that I'd like to do. One of them would be very simple, just to stay in, cook dinner, drink wine, play music, play games, or watch a movie, either one or both, and just like stay in. Cooking dinner together is like a big one for me. I like that. Going out to dinner is great too, nothing against that at all. But yeah, that's probably that would be a really good, really ideal one for me. Nice and simple. Were you ever on dating apps? I was on Hinge. I was on Bumble, which is funny. I saw my current boyfriend on there a couple years ago, and he saw me. Neither of us swiped right, because that would have been weird, but that's just funny. And I was also on the Tinder for a hot second. Tinder was not for me, but I do know people that are in long-term relationships, one couple, two, even married, after meeting on Tinder. So I'm not knocking Tinder. It just was not for me. Dating apps in general were just, I never really liked them. I just felt like it was what I was supposed to be doing, but they were entertaining, I will say that. What did you do on Valentine's Day when you were single? Well, most years I would do like a Valentine's Day. It doesn't always have to be on Valentine's Day, but around the day I would do a Valentine's Day with my girlfriends. And one year we went to dinner and a movie. Another year we stayed in and had ice cream and drank wine and watched a movie, I think. Like things like that is always really cute. Like this year we're gonna do a little dinner together towards the end of February, and that's like our Valentine's date, so that's really fun to do with your girlfriends or just friends in general. And then if I was single on Valentine's Day, honestly, I would just treat it like any other day. I mean, I would wear red, but that was it. Like, I'd go to work and it would be, you know, just a normal day, you know. But it was never a day that I would like dread if I was single, you know. This person says, I've never had a boyfriend before and I'm about to turn 16. Is this normal? Yes. My response to that would be, I wish that was more normal. You are not missing out. If anything, you didn't waste time and energy on a boy that, you know, granted, yes, high school sweethearts are a thing for some people, but more often than not, relationships that young just result in wasted time and energy. I do remember being that young and looking at relationships and being like, oh, I want one. So I get the appeal. I do, and like, I understand why you would have that mentality, but I think it should be more normal to be 15, 16, 17 and not worry about relationship drama and just enjoy your teenage years. So, my dear, in my opinion, you are winning. That would be my answer to that. Was your favorite date you and your man have been on? So I actually saw this question last night as I was like skimming, and I was thinking about it. So it's between two. The first one would be back in July. We went on vacation with his family for a week to Myrtle Beach, and they were nice enough to invite me to join them, and I went down and I joined them for 3 days. And I don't remember if it was my last night there or my second to last night. I really don't remember, but he and I kind of went out on our own and went out to dinner. And back then, I mean, we still kind of do, but not to the extent that we used to. We used to go out for dinner to celebrate like every month anniversary. I know, but that's what we did. And so this was July, so this was our 3-month anniversary. But it was nice that like he really wanted to do that, and he made an effort to, you know, tell everyone else, okay, we're gonna go on our own and go out to dinner tonight. And so he took me out to dinner, and then we went to a little tiki bar right on the shore of the beach that we were like staying on. So we just walked down to the tiki bar. We shared one of those bucket drinks with like rum and fruit, and it was really good. And then we walked on the beach at night with our like toes in the water and just walked up and down the strip, and it was a really nice night. So that was one. And then the other one was back in October. He went away 11 days for work. He was gone like 11 days straight. And so the weekend, in the middle of those 11 days, I went up to meet him and like visit him and spend the weekend wherever he was. And we had a whole day. We went to an apple orchard, got lunch and some cider, and then we went bowling. And that bowling place had like a restaurant bar attached to it, so they could serve you drinks while you bowled. And then we went out to dinner that night, and then went back and watched Squid Games. But like we did a lot that day. We got apple cider donuts, like all the fall activities, and it was really nice. So I mean, there are a bunch of really nice dates that we've done, but those two really stick out. So this one says, not really a question, but can you share your Valentine's Day nails again? Hopefully it'll show up. Yeah, I got this idea on Pinterest. So just hearts on the ring finger, and then this is a XO with a little heart on top. My nail tech said that this turned out to look like an engagement ring, and now I can't unsee it, but that was not the intent. It's supposed to be an XO with a heart on top. So they're kind of obnoxious. I don't think I have ever gotten Valentine's Day nails in my entire life. But you know, my nail tech and I went for it, and then she took a picture of them for her own records, and I was like, yes, she likes them. So this one is a broad one, but it says, what does Valentine's Day mean to you? It's a good question though. The way that I was raised, Valentine's Day was just a day to show love. So it was never just about, you know, romantic relationships. I grew up with, you know, I was very lucky and very blessed, and my parents would always get me a Valentine's Day card and candy. My aunt would, I think, also get me a card. Little things like that. So my family and I always kind of celebrated it. So for me, it's just a day of love, really. Just love in general, family, friends, partner, which is probably why, you know, even years of being single on Valentine's Day, I never really minded it. It was just like, yeah, it's a nice day. Do I think it's sometimes overhyped? Yes. Do I think it's a Hallmark holiday? Yes. Card companies make a lot of money. Flower companies make a lot of money. At the end of the day, everything is a business, but what you do with that, putting meaning behind it for your loved ones, is what counts, I think. And I think if you are in a romantic relationship, or really no matter the relationship, you should show that person love all year round. But if you're into like celebrating things, and if you're like me and you just want an excuse to celebrate something all the time, then it can be a fun day to make them feel a little extra special, if that makes sense. So I hope that was a good answer. Someone said, update on the couples book and camera your boyfriend got you for Christmas. That's a great question. So if you did not watch my what I got for Christmas video, my boyfriend gifted me this adventure book, Couples Challenge, which is a book of 50 dates and activities to do with your partner. And it came with a Polaroid camera that you take a picture of each date, and you tape it in the book right next to the date that you scratch off, because you have to scratch them off one by one. And then you write like a little note. It's like it turns into like a little scrapbook. So we've done 1, 2, 3, I think only 4 dates so far, maybe 5. But they're all going really well. It's fun. It just gives you something to do, and I'm really, really excited for the book to be done. fun, and then to one day be able to just flip through it and look at it like a scrapbook. This might be a question in here, but I'll just answer it now. My favorite one that we've done so far was to go to like a craft store, get a box, get things to decorate it with, and make that your memory box. So now we have one. We went to Michael's, we got a plain box, we wrote on it, drew on it, got stickers, got kind of creative with it, and now it's our memory box, and we wrote our names on top and like the date we started dating, and then now we can just throw things in there. So like we have the cards that we've gotten each other so far for like birthdays and Christmas, movie tickets, our tickets to California, a little keychain we got at the winery in California, like things like that. So that's my favorite thing that we've done so far, and it's gonna be fun to just build that box as time goes on. So highly encourage that, whether you have the adventure book or not. Memory boxes are really cool, and I'm really excited about it. So this is the same person, but they say plans for Valentine's Day. So this year, I'm filming this obviously before Valentine's Day, the Thursday before, but this weekend, the weekend right before Valentine's Day, we are just doing a little getaway trip. We found a little Airbnb, cute little cabin, not far from where we live really, but it's just like a little getaway, something fun to do. We found a pretty good price, and we both took off work Friday, tomorrow. Love that. So today is technically my Friday at work, which is great. But we're gonna go. It has a nice like fire pit, it has a kitchen, so we're gonna cook. One night we'll go out for dinner and drinks, and then the next night we'll like cook dinner. We're gonna bring like cards and things to do, and it's just gonna be a nice little chill getaway. There is a hiking trail. I don't think it's like a hike, but a little trail pretty close to the cabin, so we'll do that one day, and it's supposed to be really nice weather this weekend. So nothing crazy, but a little getaway, so it'll be fun. Let's see. First date story. It was my first real date. Was with my first like real boyfriend, not including my 7th grade boyfriend that I dated for like 2 hours. It was a double date, and we went to see a movie. We went to see Spider-Man. This was back in the summer of 2012. So whatever Spider-Man that was, we went to see that. Would you rather get chocolate or flowers? Both. Because why not? Chocolate because I have a sweet tooth that is actually like very dangerous, and flowers because they make you feel special. Granted, I know they die after like a week, but whenever I get flowers, I take a picture of it so that I can like keep it forever, you know. So, you know, both. I hope that's not a greedy answer. It kind of is, but how do I ask out a girl that I like at work that I know isn't dating anyone? Well, it's a good thing that you know that and that you checked that out first. That's very respectful. Just do it, man. I know it's easier said than done. To be honest, I've never asked anybody out a day in my life. I was always too chicken. I always waited to be asked. Which looking back, I wish I could like tell myself to not be such a chicken, but anyway. Just do it, and you don't have to make it a whole elaborate, would you go on a date night with me? But just say, hey, like, are you free this day? And then if you know the person well, like, what does the person like to do? What do you like to do? And just go based on what you guys like to do, and just go for it. I know that's not great advice, but the worst somebody can say is no. Maybe it's a little awkward for a day or two and then you move on, but I feel like they won't say no, so just go for it. The next one is actually a good question. How/what did you do to find joy in your single seasons of life? I really enjoyed my single seasons of life, and I think the key to doing that is just, you really have to get comfortable being by yourself. I don't mind being by myself at all. I will go shopping by myself. I have never gone to a movie by myself, but I totally would. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, you really just have to like who you are as a person. Like, I've heard people say, when you're not dating anybody else, date yourself and fall in love with yourself first. Because as cliche as it sounds, it's so true, and I've learned it over the years that unless you love yourself, it's very hard to let somebody else love you. And then aside from that too, spend time with your friends. You know, just enjoy it. Being single, like, I feel like there's such a stigma around being single now that it's like a bad thing, and it's not at all. Like, that's when you grow and like figure out who you are as a person, and you know, if you already feel like you do know yourself as a person, that's when you learn more about yourself. You know, I was very happy when I was single. I wasn't miserable. Just spend time with yourself and your loved ones and just enjoy. Don't think of it as a bad thing, because when you think of it as a bad thing, it becomes harder to enjoy it. So just think of it as a growing season. My best Valentine's Day experience, it's probably going to be this Valentine's Day, if we're being honest, so to be determined. Not that I had bad ones in the past, but again, like, we were young and it wasn't, it's different now when you're older, you know. I feel like, I don't know. How did you and your boyfriend meet? We met 11 years ago at church, and we were friends for a very long time. Let's see. Advice for when you and your partner disagree. And then in parentheses it says on politics, religion, etc. And then it also says date ideas. So that's a really packed question. So let's just break it down. Just disagreeing in general. I've said this before, but like, I think I heard it on TikTok, honestly. TikTok is a very toxic place, but sometimes good actually comes out of it. Someone said, you know, when you are in a disagreement or you're fighting or there's something, you know, bad happening in a disagreement, whatever, think of it as you two, the couple, versus the problem, not you versus your partner. And that's always stuck with me, and that's always stayed in my head. You know, if you really love the person, like, my mentality is, even if I'm mad at you, which luckily my boyfriend and I don't really like fight like that, thank goodness, we're very good at communicating with each other, and I think that just comes from years and years of being friends. But you know, even if you're annoyed with your partner, you know, I still look at him and be like, oh, I love you, so we're gonna figure it out. Like, it's you and me versus whatever the disagreement is. So I would say that, like, if you really love the person, then, you know, have the mentality of, we're gonna fix it. We just gotta figure out how to fix it. When it comes to politics, religion, etc., for me personally, me, I don't think I could date someone who had different political and religious views. There's a reason for that. Not because, you know, I am the type that will look at somebody and be like, you have a different political or religious view from me. That's fine. We can still be friends. You can still be in my life. We can be close. I have no problem with that. Actually, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. You know, when people write somebody off just because you disagree on something, I'm not like that at all. I think everyone is entitled to do or believe whatever makes them happy. I truly believe that. But when it comes to a life partner, someone who I would want to raise children with and have a family, I just don't know how I would raise children, because like, whose point of view do you raise the children with? Or like a different religion, like whose religion are the children gonna follow? You know, and I know people do it. It's happened, you know. But me personally, I don't want that. So that's just me personally. So that would be my answer for that part. I hope that was a good answer, because I honestly don't know if it made sense. Favorite Valentine's Day candy? I actually don't like the chocolates that come in the heart-shaped boxes. I think they all kind of taste the same, and they're like really, really sweet, and I just don't like them. I don't know, I never really have. I would rather get like a candy bar. So my like 3 favorite candy bars are Kit Kats, #1, Hershey bars, like plain Hershey, or like Crunch bars, or Reese's. Okay, my top 4. I told you I have a sweet tooth. So I would rather just get like a Kit Kat bar rather than. I got one year. I did get a heart-shaped box for Valentine's Day, but it was filled with mini Kit Kats. That's what I would like, something like that. What's the most romantic thing your boyfriend has done for you so far? One of the things that really sticks out is around the time that we first started dating. I think actually we had just started dating actually, and he had asked me to go to an event with him, like a formal dress-up event, and we got ready together, and he had got like a bottle of champagne, he got me flowers, and I thought that was very sweet and very smooth, and that again was when we like first started dating, and I was like, alright, like that was good, that was a good one. But there's been many things. He's very good to me, and I'm the type of person that's like, it's the small things for me, like as long as you show me that like you care, and he does all the time. And I try to do the same as well. It's just like, it's the little things. So yeah. The next one, what are your guys' love languages? So that adventure book that we have actually made us take the love language test, and we both, it's so funny but not surprising, we got the same love languages in the same order. I don't remember all of them, but we both got quality time as #1, so spending time with each other uninterrupted, you know, not looking at your phone every 5 seconds, like just you two spending time talking, listening, watching something. That was #1. #2 was words of affection, words of affirmation, that's what it is. And then the third one was physical touch, and then the last 2, I don't remember what order they were, but it was funny that we got them in the same order as each other. So I guess that's a good sign. Let's see. Favorite love songs? Probably anything like country. I love Bless the Broken Road by Rascal Flatts. That is a great song. I love From the Ground Up by Dan and Shay. That's a beautiful song too. I like, what else? There's so many. I guess those would be my top 2. But there are so many. was your first Valentine? My dad. I told you my dad used to get me candy every year and like a little bear and yeah, a card. So I'm gonna just say my dad. Let's see. A couple of like non-Valentine's Day questions. Dang, you guys are curious about a lot of stuff, but it's not Valentine's Day related. Someone said, what's it like dating a younger guy? For those of you who don't know, my boyfriend's 3 years younger than me. We're at a point in our lives now where we're both out of school, we're both working, both have good jobs. So it really isn't a big deal. Like, we forget that there is even an age gap. But had it been any earlier, like we always say, if we had tried to date any earlier than we did, it probably wouldn't have worked. You know, like for example, if he was still in college and I was working and he could stay up until 2, 3 in the morning, you know, on weekends, you know, doing the college thing, as you know, I did too back then, and I was getting up for work and working on the weekends like I used to, like it wouldn't have worked. You're in 2 different worlds. But now that you're in the same world, you know, I always say age is just a number. Really, it's about the mentality of the person, and he's very, very mature, and so it's really not a big deal. But I think it's funny. He likes that I'm older though. My birthday's in July and his is in August, so there's 1 month where I'm 4 years older, and he loves it. And I mean, I don't hate it. I guess I'm indifferent, but I don't love it just because it makes me feel old, but it's really not a big deal. I saw a good question that now I can't find. I think I remember what it said though. It said something like, how do you feel? Wow, I really can't find it. How do you feel about like moving in with someone before marriage? This was one that I have gone back and forth with a lot, because I did have that mentality of, you know, how do you know that you can live with somebody for the rest of your life if you've never lived with them before, you know? I definitely have gone back and forth with my mom, and I used to talk about that, and she'd be like, no, I understand where you're coming from, but I guess we are a little more traditional, I guess, and like my boyfriend and I have talked about it, and you know, we've said that we wouldn't move in together unless we were married or about to get married. And with that, I would say, if we already lived together before like getting engaged or married, I don't know, I just want something to like look forward to after we get married. Because if we wake up and we're like, you know, in the same house, I'm like, all right, we're getting married today, we're getting married tomorrow, and then you go get married, and then you come back home, and like that part of your life didn't change, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but it just gives you like a new chapter to look forward to. But on this topic, I definitely see both sides, for sure, 100%. But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's like one more that maybe I didn't answer. A couple people asked if I'm gonna get a pet in my apartment, but I know that's unrelated, but I can't get pets in that apartment. I think I can like appeal for it or like apply for it, but I don't need to I'm gonna get like a fish, and that's gonna be it. I guess that's it. How to learn. Alright, we'll end with this one. How to learn to trust again after a relationship with a lot of trust issues. It's a good question. my first long-term relationship from 16. I was 16 to 19, and I came out of it with a few trust issues. Not gonna lie, I was lied to quite a bit in that relationship from time to time, and it definitely left me with this feeling of like, I am, to this day, like, I don't like the feeling of, you know, other people knowing something about me that I don't know, if that makes sense, or like feeling like I'm being left in the dark, or feeling like people are perceiving me as being naive. I still think that relationship definitely left me with that feeling. So there are a couple of things that I carried over. So my advice, I guess, I should have said this in the beginning, I'm no relationship expert. I mean, take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is just my experience, but not everyone is the same, right? So not every single guy is going to be like the guy that, or girl, because this could be for anybody, you know, like the person who gave you trust issues. Not everyone is the same, and it's not fair to the new person to, for example, constantly accuse them of lying or keeping something from you. You know, my mentality has always been, I trust you until you give me a reason not to. So kind of like everybody gets a clean slate, which I know is hard, especially if you have been hurt. So that would be my best advice, is just to one, like, I think it's important to heal by yourself before you involve another person, but then when another person does come into the picture, you gotta cut them some slack, because, you know, it's not fair to them. And then if they feel like you're not being fair to them, then, you know, you don't want them to get fed up and be like, oh, never mind, you know. So try that mentality of like, I trust you until you give me a reason not to, because you don't want to self-sabotage either, because I've been known to do that sometimes. So that would be my best advice, but I know that it's hard, and I recognize that it's an easier said than done situation, but that would be my advice. So anyway, guys, that is all the questions that I have for you. Thank you to those of you who sent in those questions. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Again, happy Valentine's Day. Go love on your friends, your family, your coworkers, your dog, whoever it is, and yourself. Go love on yourself. Have a self-care day, self-love day.